Good morning. Welcome to Heart and Soul Center of Light. My name is Ron Marshall, and I'm a licensed practitioner at Heart and Soul, and I'm honored to be facilitating our meditation experience this morning. This morning, we're taking the opportunity to immerse ourselves in stillness so that we may connect with the knower within, so that it may be our guide during this time of change. So wherever you are, I invite you to make yourself comfortable so that you may be open to divine guidance. It might help to uncross your arms and legs, clear your lap of any objects, and allow the chair and floor to support your back and feet. Also, know that right where you are, God is, and therefore it is safe and sacred space. So if you're willing, I invite you to gently allow your eyes to close and take this opportunity to relax and let go of all that has happened up until this moment. Now join me in taking a deep, conscious breath. Let's breathe in and release with a sigh. And just give thanks for the breath as you gently allow it to return to its natural rhythm. And as we enter the stillness, I offer this affirmation as our guide. I have been that I have been. I am that I am. And I will be what I will be simultaneously. I have been that I have been. I am that I am. And I will be what I will be simultaneously. I now invite you to return your awareness to the space that you are in. To do so, you might focus on your feet and notice and feel the support of the floor beneath. You might gently rub your palms together and begin to expand your awareness and feel the space around you. And when you are ready, I invite you to gently allow your eyes to open. This completes our meditation experience. And so it is. Thank you for creating this safe and sacred container of love for our service this morning. We have a wonderful opportunity during these times to spend more time being still and renewing our connection with the One. And I invite you to do so whenever and wherever possible. It has been a pleasure and an honor to facilitate this morning's meditation. Thank you.
Good morning, family, and welcome to Heart and Soul Center of Light, our Sunday virtual service. Today is Sunday, September 27th, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to our service this morning. My name is Sonia Russell. I am a licensed practitioner and proud founding member here at Heart and Soul, and I am here to let you know how you can be more fully engaged at Heart and Soul Center of Light. I want to start by making sure you know that our theme for 2020 is Adventures in Faith. Expect a miracle. And now more than ever, we are expecting a miracle. Yes, family? We are taking our time walking through A Year of Miracles, which is a daily read by Marianne Williamson. And you want to make sure that you get into it. Today is day 271. The affirmation is, the present moment holds the key to my deliverance. Amen, family. I want to make sure that you stay connected in all the ways that there are to stay connected. Via Facebook, YouTube, please make sure you subscribe, via Instagram, Twitter, and all of the podcasts. I want to make sure that you know that you'll have an opportunity to give in community toward the end of our service, but we invite you into giving at any time via our website or via text. And you can sign up for our service recap by visiting our website. The service recap allows you to have all of the announcements as well as any videos we play in your mailbox. And I want to remind you that we are steeped in our community affirmation. Thank you for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. Our practitioners are doing a book study as it is of the Year in Miracles. We're gathering on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. You can sign up at heartsoulcenter.org/RSCP Year of Miracles. You sign up once and you get regular reminders, but it's a great opportunity to be in community and to go deep about believing in the power of miracles. IJ is on and popping, y'all. Valerie Joy and David Walker are deeply cultivating and curating the sessions. This past week, there was a visioning with our beloved Reverend Angelo, and this coming week, you're going to be unpacking that vision. We also want to make sure that you save the date, October 14th, for our League of Women Voters info session. On Thursday, Tammy Hall is live via Facebook Live at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We want to make sure that you visit and support Tammy Hall and that you tip generously. On Saturday, we have our POP, Reverend Andriette's vlog, Point of Power. It's designed to give you a weekly boost And it happens at 10 a.m. Pacific time via Facebook, YouTube, and various podcast services. Imagining Justice presents the second annual Urban Mindfulness Summit, and we're inviting you to save the dates at Saturday, October 24th and Sunday, October 25th. We are confirming the details of our morning panel, and it is going to be good, so stay tuned. In the afternoon, we have Ricky Byers live, and then on Sunday, we will have an opportunity to dive into some everyday mindfulness practices. Registration, we promise, is coming soon, beginning at $20. Family, I want to make sure that you know that following service by about 10 minutes, group prayer is available. It is also available on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Pacific time. The point is to get involved in prayer because prayer changes everything. And so, family, I invite you to take a moment and find your breath. Our vision was revealed to us before we were a church in our current configuration. And we like to take the time to recite it each week so that we are sufficiently grounded and supported by this vision. And so, family, we recite it together. We are a loving and compassionate, world-class teaching and empowerment ministry. Through a consciousness of universal God presence, we release all resistance, separation, and fear. We claim our personal liberation and accept the eternal availability of joy, love, and abundance. Through our intention to be love and spread joy, we engender reflections of the same and more in others. Our ministry is a gift to the world, which expands through our practice and dedication. We welcome all people, and together we make a quantifiable, positive difference on the planet. And so it is. And so, family, now I invite you to find your breath, allowing yourself to be fully present to this moment. Releasing all that came before this moment, giving no concern to all that must come after this moment, simply allowing ourselves to be here now. Touching and agreeing and remembering to remember that God is, that we are, and that all is well. The divine presence that woke us this morning and kept us while we slept, rotates the planets in their orbits, brings the sun and the rain and the cool breeze in the trees. The goodness of God is born in, through, and as us. We are one with the perfection of the entire universe. It is without exception, and it is regardless of the appearance of things. God is always working. Goodness is always unfolding. Love is always present. And so I speak this word on behalf of my beloved Heart and Soul Center of Light community, giving thanks for our heart's desires being made manifest this day. Giving thanks that we know that justice is possible. Giving thanks that we know that love is overflowing in every situation. Giving thanks for the knowing that we are safe, that we are whole, perfect, and complete. I know that the infinite is always working, always moving, always unfolding. And today and every day, our opportunity is to trust. Our opportunity is to be faithful. And so I'm giving thanks this day, family. I'm giving thanks for the faith keepers, for the light bearers. I'm giving thanks for those who stand in the gap. I'm giving thanks for those on the front lines, those willing to say no more. I'm giving thanks for those of us who remember to pray without ceasing. I'm giving thanks for open hearts and open minds and the opportunity to transform the entire planet, one life at a time. And so, family, I give thanks for Heart and Soul Center of Light and all that it is on the planet, all that it endeavors to be, the permission that it gives us to be our most powerful selves. I'm giving thanks for our practitioners, for our volunteers, our ministers, our board, our music ministry. I am grateful for our beloved Reverend Andriette saying yes. I am grateful for the good sense to be grateful this day, family. And it is in perfect gratitude that I simply release this word into the law. I know that it is done. I accept and expect it as so now and forevermore. And so it is. Amen.
There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite one love. There can only be God's love. Oh yes, I know that I walk. Oh yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a wisdom, a knowing, a loving and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Just say until it shows. I'll pray. I won't move until I know that I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. I can feel it, it's everywhere. I can see it, it's everywhere. And I know in my heart that the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And I know in my heart, yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a power of presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite one love. There can only be God's love. Oh yes, I know that I walk. Oh yes, I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And I know in my heart, yes, the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere, everywhere. See it everywhere, and know in our hearts that we walk in the love of God. We walk in the love of God. Yes, I walk in the love of God.
Thank you, Valerie Joy. Thank you, Tammy Hall. Yes, I walk in the love of God. I love that's a oldie but goodie Ricky Byer number. And Valerie Joy and Tammy Hall just bring it to us in such, well, for such a time as this. Part of the lyric says, there is a wisdom, a love, a loving, and a knowing, and the truth. I am, heart and soul, I'm not speaking today. Instead, my dear sister friend, Reverend Twana Malone, is speaking. And I want to share some things about her, but I want to begin by saying there is a wisdom, a loving, a knowing, and the truth. I am honored to introduce and share some about Reverend Twana Malone. She is an ordained Centers for Spiritual Living minister, just as I am. She's a teacher, a counselor, a life coach who's been a student of New Thought for more than 20 years. Hailing from Tennessee, she traveled the world with her family as a child while her parents served in the United States Army. As an adult, Rev T served in the U.S. Air Force for 7 years herself. She then worked as a hospice chaplain for 10 years and became a licensed practitioner in 2006. Reverend Twana's heart's desire is to support us in discovering the life our souls are seeking. She joined the Center of Peace in 2001, and now she serves as their inspiring senior minister and spiritual director. Here's what I want you to know from my heart to yours, is that when I first saw this young sister, I met her at one of our Centers for Spiritual
Thank you,
Living
Rev.
conventions or
And thank you for
conferences.
inviting me to be here with
And
you all this
I don't know
morning.
about y'all, but
I have
there are
such deep
often those
respect and
moments in a
admiration
group where you
for the
just
Rev,
notice a
and it is
certain
truly my
energy in the
honor to
room.
be here with you all.
And when
I
I
bring you
notice a certain
greetings
energy in
from
the
the Center
room,
of Peace
I'm
in
inclined to
Philadelphia,
just
Pennsylvania.
continue to
And
keep
before
my eye
we
on that energy
get into the
to
message
see
this
whether
morning, I'd
that
like
was
us
just a
all just to
fluke
take a
or
moment
whether
to
that
honor
bright light
all of the things that's happening
shines
in the world that might have
always
us
and in all
stirred
ways.
up in
So,
some way
what
or
I found
another.
about
I want us
Rev
just to
T
pause
is
and
that she
acknowledge the
is a
things that we
bright
should
light. She's the
acknowledge.
real
So
deal.
as we say
She
Breonna
is
Taylor's
clear,
name, I'm just inviting
she's
you all to join
consistent,
me.
she is committed to spiritual principle and being the place, being present. Yes, she walks in the love of God. And so I am honored to introduce Heart and Soul Center of Light to the Center of Pieces in Philly, Senior Minister, Reverend Twana Malone, my dear sister. Listen up.
Thank you, Rev. And thank you for inviting me to be here with you all this morning. I have such deep
You're
respect
kind.
and admiration for the Rev, and it is truly my honor to be here with you all. I bring you greetings from the Center of Peace in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And before we get into the message this morning, I'd like us all just to take a moment to honor all of the things that's happening in the world that might have us stirred up in some way or another. I want us just to pause and acknowledge the things that we should acknowledge. So as we say Breonna Taylor's name, I'm just inviting you all to join me for a moment of silence as we honor her life and the things that's happening around her life. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for joining me in that moment of pause. And so this morning, what I'd like to do is to see if I can bring the themes from the two centers together and have it make some sense, have it feed us in some way. And so your theme of adventures in faith, expect a miracle, and our theme of the year, which is faith, and our theme for the month, which is faith, deeper roots. As I said, I'd like to see if we can bring the two of them together. So I like to start out my messages by getting us anchored, or really getting myself anchored for what's to come. And the way I like to do that is I like to take the spiritual principles that's laid out in What We Believe, that was penned by Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, many, many, many years ago. And at the Center of Peace, we have actually numbered the stances in What We Believe. And so today I'm going to be reading spiritual principle number 1, number 2, and number 4. Spiritual principle number 1 says, we believe in God, the living spirit, almighty one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existence cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. Spiritual principle number 2 reads, we believe in the individualization of the spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one spirit. And spiritual principle number 4, we believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. So last week, the Rev said that an adventure means we're headed somewhere. It means we're going someplace. She said that there is a distinct difference between an outing and an adventure. You see, in an outing, you know where you're going, you know how you're going to get there, and you know what to expect. And when you're on an adventure, you know where you're going, but you don't know how you're going to get there, and you don't know what to expect along the way, nor do you know how long it's going to take. So being on an adventure then, as the Reverend reminded us last week, it's more than an aspiration. It's a way of living intentionally. Its requirement then is for us to be prepared to the best of our ability to handle whatever comes our way. Rocky roads, potholes, muddy roads, rainy roads, straight roads, whatever comes our way. You see, life is always inviting us to practice what we preach. And it's no different now. Life is still giving us the invitation. It remains the same for us to begin to practice what we preach. And so then that means that while we're on this adventure, we are to continue to pray, and we are to continue with our affirmations. We are to continue to meditate and to vision, to journal. We're to continue to do whatever it is that you do in your spiritual practice. See, Ernest Holmes says that it's easier to profess than to practice. It's easier to say that I have faith in God than it is to practice I have faith in God. He says it's easier to profess than to practice. And in the Science of Mind textbook, on page 423, in a piece that he's titled The Final Conclusion, he says this: it is far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. He says, but the practice of truth is personal to each. And in the long run, no one can live our life for us. To each is given what he needs, and the gifts of heaven come alike to all. He says, how we shall use these gifts is all that matters. To hold one's thought steadfastly to the constructive, to that which endures, and to the truth may not be easy in a rapidly changing world. But to the one who makes the attempt, much is guaranteed. To the one that makes the attempt, much is guaranteed. To the one who says yes to the adventures in faith, much is guaranteed. So if we're on an adventure, then we've got to know where we are going and what it is that we want. Because when you get clear about where you're going and you get clear about what you want, then you can begin to expect. The theme says, expect a miracle. So you gotta know where you're going, and you have to know what you want. So next year, the Center of Peace will be celebrating 20 years of service, 20 years of being in the community, changing lives, teaching, and we're so proud of the work that we've done. And so we have a committee, and the committee has been meeting for a couple of weeks, and we had a meeting the other day. And at this particular meeting, we were discussing the venue. And so someone asked, well, what is the budget? And how much are we prepared to spend? And so it started off, somebody said $5,000, $7,000. How much do we want to spend? $10,000, $20,000, $25,000. And when somebody said $25,000, someone else said, wait a minute, are we sure $25,000? And so we were starting to lose sight of where we were going. We were going to find a venue that we are worthy of, a venue that's opulent, a venue that's beautiful, a venue that's accommodating. We're talking about indoor and outdoor seating and standing, where there's plenty of space to dance. That's where we were going. Somewhere that has really good food. And when the idea of how much we were going to spend came up, we got off track. We lost sight of where we were going. And so then we said, well, what is it that we want? Well, we want to have fun. We want to be able to celebrate. We want to be able to dance a little bit. We want to be able to sing. We want to be together in such a way that there's so much joy and happiness. See, we got clear about where we were going and what it is that we wanted. The question, where are you going if you're on an adventure in faith And what do you want? Do you want joy? Peace? What is it that you want? Maybe you are wanting to have the experience of heaven right here on earth. But you got to know where you're going and what it is that you want. Because the other thing that the Rev reminded us is that when you're on an adventure, you don't know how you're going to get there. And some of us right now might be questioning, how are we going to get to justice? And how are we going to get to equality? And how are we going to get to a place of fairness and honoring the laws? How are we going to get there? But let me bring you back to the reading, you see. One who makes the attempt, much is guaranteed. To those of us who says yes to the adventure, much is guaranteed. So we don't have to know how we're going to get there. We just have to know where we're going and what it is that we want. And so while we are on this adventure, we don't know what to expect. It ain't an adventure, the Rev said, if you know what to expect. So I'm reminded about that part of Dr. Martin Luther King's famous "I've Been to the Mountaintop" sermon, delivered on the eve of his death, where he said that as they were preparing for the second march in Memphis, he said that they knew that there would be mace, and that they knew that they would sick the dogs on them, and they knew that they would turn the fire hose on them. They knew at some point in time they might get locked up and thrown into the paddy wagon, squished together like sardines. But what they didn't know was when to expect it. They didn't know when the dogs were coming. They didn't know when they would turn the fire hose on them. They didn't know, when they would get arrested and thrown into the paddy wagon. See, some of us right now might be feeling a way that we didn't expect to feel. Some of us might be feeling depressed. Some of us might be feeling a little doubtful. And some of us might be feeling tired and overwhelmed. Some of us are sitting with a deep sense of uncertainty. And so these things that we find ourselves sitting with is unexpected. This isn't our normal. There's a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot for each of us to hold as we adventure in faith. And so the Rev reminded us to also stop tripping about how long it's going to take. She said, it's going to take however long it's going to take. So if we're worried about how we're going to get there, and if we're worried about what might happen along the way, and if we're worried about how long it's going to take, we might not get there. We might not get to where we're going. We might be tempted to give up. We might be tempted to give in. We might be tempted to let go of the truth. We might be tempted to stop practicing. And so Dr. Martin Luther King, in the same sermon, said this. He said that nothing would be more tragic than to stop at this point. Nothing would be more tragic than to stop at this point. He said, we've got to see this thing through. We've got to see it through. Nothing would be more tragic than to give into sadness. Nothing would be more tragic than to give into our uncertainty, to give into our anger. Nothing would be more tragic to give into our doubt, to give into our fears. Nothing would be more tragic than for us to stop praying. Nothing would be more tragic than for us to stop practicing. Ernest Holmes said that I refuse to declare my faith in God and continue to do what I was doing yesterday. I refuse to declare my faith in God and not see this thing through, in other words. So we've got to have faith. If we're going to see this thing through, the roots of our faith has got to go and grow deeper. Because for some of us, we've extracted all that we can from where we are. So we've got to go deeper. And that means we need to know a little something about roots. We need to know a little something about the way roots work. We need to know something about the roots of our faith. You see, roots develop from the internal tissue of the seed. The roots develop from what's already in the seed. So let's just make this personal. My roots develop from what's inside of me. See, roots have a root cap, a primary root, and a secondary root. The root cap is at the tip of the root. It's what protects the root as it goes deeper, as it passes through the soil from where it is to go deeper so that it can draw in what it needs in the moment. And so if there's not enough water, and if there's not enough nourishment, there's not enough nutrients where the root currently is, then it must go deeper. See, it's your roots that will take you where you need to go. If we were in the sanctuary, I would have you turn to your partner on the right and your partner on the left and affirm, it's my roots that's taking me where I need to go. My roots are taking me where I need to go so that I'll have what I need when I bump up against the unexpected. It's my roots that's taking me where I need to go. So you have the root cap, and then you have the primary root. And the primary root is radical. It's radical because once the root of the cap takes you deeper, it's the primary root that anchors you there. It grows down and it anchors. It's the primary root that takes in and gives out. It absorbs and it dissolves. It disperses the nutrients and the water to the stem. You see, it's the root, the primary root, that supports you. It's what moves you from professing and teaching to practicing. I'm gonna give it to you one more time. See, it's the primary root that helps to anchor you. It's what moves you from professing and teaching to practicing. It's what moves you from talking about peace to begin to practice peace. It's what moves you from doubt and uncertainty and fear. It's what moves you to faith. And then once it gets you to faith, it anchors you there. And then you have the secondary root. This part of the root, it grows far and wide. Its purpose is to store. Because as you take in and as you give out, you've got to know that more is coming. As you take in peace and as you give out peace, as you take in love and as you give out love, as you take in joy and as you give out joy, adventures in faith, expect a miracle. So as you give out and take in, you have to have somewhere to store that which is coming in, so that as we journey on this adventure, we have what we need. You see, we're on an adventure. And so I refuse then, in this moment that we find ourselves in, to profess my faith in God and stay where I am. Because the roots of my faith is taking me where I want to go. We have to begin to understand this, that it is the roots of our faith taking us where it is that we want to go, helping us to get anchored and centered in whatever it is that we need in this moment, taking us to a deeper place in our understanding, where we can begin to affirm and know that I lean not into my own understanding, but that I'm leaning to the understanding of the divine power and presence. I'm opening myself up as I'm getting anchored in intelligence, and as I allow myself to get anchored in the ancient wisdom that's around me. You see, my faith is what's taking me there. And I know that once I get there, once I get past the sadness, once I get past the depression, once I get past the doubt and get anchored, I'm determined. I'm determined, and I become more determined then in this moment to see this thing through. In this moment, I get more determined to pray every day. It is in these moments then that we should get determined to begin to affirm like we've never affirmed and know the truth before. It's in these moments that we've got to be willing to see this thing through. Because as Ernest Holmes reminded us, to the one who makes the attempt, much is guaranteed.
Trust love. Trust love. Trust God. That love is everywhere. That we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love, and love will have the final word. Trust love. Trust love. Trust God. That love is everywhere. That we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love, and love will have the final word. No one ever loses when one trusts love, for love is something that will not ever fail. Love is the essence of the Spirit that is known by always giving. Love always sees the truth beyond the appearance that we show, and love judges not, and love renews. Yes, love renews. Love is a healer. Oh yes, it is. Love loves to love. Love loves to love, and we'll keep on being loved. Yes, we'll keep on being loved. This is its holy way. So trust love. Trust love. Trust God. That love is everywhere. That we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love, and love will have the final word. No one ever loses when one trusts love. True love is to live within the holy breath of God. Love is the essence of the Spirit that is known by always giving. Love always seeks the truth beyond the appearance that we show, and love judges not, and love renews. Yes, love renews. Love is a healer. Oh yes, it is. Love loves to love. Love loves to love, and we'll keep on being loved. Yes, we'll keep on being loved. This is His holy way. So trust love. Trust love. Trust God. That love is everywhere. and receivers of love, and love will have the final word. Oh yes, love will have the final word. Oh, so love will have the final word. Love will have the final word.
So thank you, Reverend Tawana, for such a powerful message for such a time as this. At Heart and Soul Center of Light, we rely on your gracious giving to help us bring forth powerful messages from powerful ministers like Reverend Tawana and our own Reverend Andriette Earl. And there are many ways that you can graciously support Heart and Soul Center of Light through your giving. You can send a check to our new secure mailing address at Heart and Soul Center of Light, 5627 Telegraph Avenue, number 405, Oakland, California, 94609. You can also give online at our heartsoulcenter.org/give website, setting up a recurring gift or a one-time gift. And last but not least, you can even text the word give to 510-500-5849. Whatever method of giving you choose is absolutely right and perfect, but we also want to keep in mind the proper consciousness for our giving, and we do that at Heart and Soul by blessing our gift before it is even given, thereby establishing an intention for good that our gift will do in the world. And so wherever you may be in the world right now, I invite you to take your gift in hand, or otherwise just place your hand over your heart as we bless our good together. I bless this gift as healing energy and send it into the divine flow of all good. Infinite prosperity circulates through me, through my church, and throughout the world, because I know God as source, and so it is.
Amen. Yes, family. So I'm going to remind you how you can continue to be engaged at Heart and Soul, beginning with our practitioners. Make sure that you sign up for our Year of Miracles review, Monday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. You can sign up on our website, and once you sign up, you get regular reminders. The point is to be in community and make sure that we can spend some time focused on the possibility of miracles. Imagining Justice is going in deep. Valerie Joy and David are inviting you to be with them on this coming Wednesday for Unpacking the Vision. We want to make sure anyone, even if you weren't part of the visionings last week, you're welcome to come and be a part of it. The time together is still rich and informative, and we're inviting you to save the date, October 14th, for the League of Women Voters info session. Tammy Hall is live on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time via Facebook Live. Make sure that you are supporting our sister and that you are tipping generously. On Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific, Reverend Andriette is doing her Point of Power, a pop to support your week. Make sure that you're visiting us on Facebook, YouTube, and via our various podcasts. Imagining Justice has its second annual Urban Mindfulness Summit. Rise Together Now is the theme. We're inviting you to save the date, Saturday, October 24th and Sunday, October 25th. Our panel is unfolding. I promise it's going to be good, family. It's unfolding, and we will be able to let you know the details soon. Ricky Byers is live on Saturday afternoon. And then on Sunday afternoon, you'll have an opportunity to practice some everyday mindfulness opportunities. So we want to make sure that you are saving that date and staying tuned for registration information. Marcus Books has their 60th anniversary fundraiser going on. Marcus is the oldest independently owned Black bookstore in the country. We want to make sure that they get to thrive. Visit GoFundMe to find out more details. And we want to make sure that we are supporting Kingston 11. You can visit Kingston 11 Eats for some delicious Jamaican cuisine for takeout. Just make sure that you're supporting our community members, family. We want to make sure that you know that the Pulse meets at 11:30 Pacific on Sundays. Send an email to thepulse@heartsoulcenter.org to get your team connected. And our Youth and Family Village is offering some asynchronous learning videos where you can get some videos about how to resolve tension from Zoom fatigue and things like that. heartsoulcenter.org/watchyfv is where you can access those videos. And if you have any questions or want to reach our Youth and Family Village, you can send an email to yfv@heartsoulcenter.org. I want to remind you that prayer changes everything. Family, make sure you avail yourself to our prayer warriors following service today by about 10 minutes and on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And it has been my great pleasure to serve.
Thank you, Takia. Thank you, Tammy Hall. Yes. Now, y'all, didn't I tell you about Rev T? A wisdom, a loving, and a knowing. Yes, she walks in the love of God on this adventure in faith. And so do we, Heart and Soul. We are walking in the love of God. Some of us are sprinting in the love of God on this adventure in faith. What a blessing indeed. And what a blessing indeed to have not only the greater Bay Area, just the local Heart and Soul folks, but I am so, so grateful that y'all are getting the word out and that folks are tuning in with us from all over, from Maui, from Detroit, from Tucson, from Aurora, Colorado, and Westminster, Colorado, and Jaco, Costa Rica, and Los Angeles, and Harrisburg, North Carolina, San Jose, Costa Rica, and Atlanta, Boston, Jackson, Mississippi, Rio de Janeiro, Lansing, Michigan, and our sister center in Philly. Thank you so very, very much. This is a time of transition for so many of us. The changes, shelter in place, where some of it is being lifted, or some of us in Alameda County are awaiting word. I believe October 6th is when there is going to be some decisions made about what color we are on that hierarchy of our ability to meet and gather, etc. So we're awaiting word. We're just knowing the highest and best. We're trusting. Remember, we're on an adventure in faith, and we not tripping no matter how it unfolds. We know this is part of the adventure. Yes, church? All righty then. So it's all good. I am, Rev T is going to pray us out. And so we are ready for that. And then just a treat to bring to mind on this adventure in faith. How you feeling? Rev T, pray us
Join me
out.
now as we turn in just to help us further anchor this idea today. Help us further get ourselves centered in and settled in, adventures in faith, expecting a miracle, knowing that our faith is moving us to a place and a space where we become available to going deeper down in the soil, where the roots of our faith take us deeper and further than we've ever been before. And then I know and can begin to affirm as we are on this adventure that we are truly, truly one with God. And that the power and the presence that is here now, that is everywhere, that it's moving us in ways that we can't even imagine. It's taking us deeper into our understanding, opening us up to begin to see something that we've never seen before. It's opening us up to begin to hear something about this moment that we've never heard before. So as we come together then this day, affirming and knowing that we are one with God, that we are one with all that there is, I know that we allow the roots of our faith to anchor us in these ideas where we are so assured, so guaranteed that something in us is beginning to expect something more, that we begin to expect something more out of each other, that we begin to expect something more out of this moment, that we begin to expect something more from the people that surround us, that we begin to expect something more from the organizations that we're in, that we begin to expect something more from ourselves, when we begin to expect something more wherever we find ourselves, when we begin to engage in prayer and in affirming and in meditation and in contemplation. And on those days when we can't affirm and we can't pray and we can't meditate and we can't contemplate, we just pray. And maybe we just meditate. And on the days that we can't pray and we can't meditate, maybe we just pray. And on the days that we can't pray 2 times, maybe we just pray 1 time. But to the one who makes the attempt, I affirm in this moment and know that much is guaranteed. So I give thanks in this moment. I give thanks knowing that we are on an adventure. I give thanks knowing that we are going somewhere. I give thanks knowing that we are guided and directed on this adventure. I give thanks that I don't have to worry about how we're going to get there and what to expect and how long it's going to take. I give thanks for the power in me that's affirming that we've got to see this thing through. So as I just gather these words then and turn them over into the law, releasing and letting them go, I stand in great acceptance of knowing that it's already done. So be it. Let us then be moved into an even greater expectancy of this and something so much greater. Join me now then in anchoring by saying, and so be it.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.